welcome to my review of the Sony Handycam DCR SX40. This camera is a standard def camera that is capable of recording in both 4x3 and 16:9 formats. It records to both 4 GB of internal memory, and also you have the option of putting in a Memory Stick Pro Duo. The camera features a 60 times optical zoom, which allows you to zoom in close to your subjects. And it is capable of recording up to 2.9 hours on the 4 GB of internal memory. However, that's at the lower recording settings. The time drops to around an hour, or a little bit less than that actually, when you're recording at the highest settings. The camera doesn't look the greatest on modern flat panel HD TVs, simply because it is a standard definition camera. However, you can use video editing software to upscale the picture to get it to look slightly better, but still you're going to end up with slightly blurred and pixelated lines. The camera, however, performs flawlessly on a standard definition TV, and the video footage is incredibly easy to edit, seeing as it is a standard def camera and does not require the same amount of processing power that a high definition camera that records at using ABC HD requires. It has a Carl Zeiss lens, similar to most Sony products. In fact, I'm not familiar with any Sony product in the video or still image area that does not have a Carl Zeiss lens. The camera does have the option to take still photos, however these are at 0.3 megapixels and really don't look very good. If we open it up here, you'll see that there are not that many controls on the inside. It is the operation of the camera is based primarily on a touchscreen, which actually performs rather well. And you can see here there are options to go between movie and photo modes, and there's also a physical button on the top of the camera to switch between the movie and photo modes also. On the inside of the camera, you'll notice that there is the slot for the Memory Stick Pro Duo, which conveniently only opens partially, so if you accidentally close the flip-out screen on the side, you're not going to have this jam into the screen. It's going to close it on its own. There is no viewfinder, as you'll also notice. You can only use this viewing screen on the side here. Luckily, it performs decently in bright sunlight. It's not the greatest, but you can still kind of see what you're filming. There's also a backlight button on the inside and a display button. There's also an easy button, so if you hand this camera off to your grandma or your grandpa who doesn't really know what they're doing with one of these kinds of cameras, it basically makes all the text on the screen display here very large and easy to read, and it also pretty much limits the camera operator to the use of the record for start and stop buttons, and also the zoom. There's also a direct to DVD burn button. I have not tested this feature, but there are DVD players that you can hook up through or DVD burners you can hook up using a USB device and burn your files directly to them. There's also a power on-off button on the inside. Inside you'll also notice that there's a speaker, and the microphones for actually recording the audio are on the front here. Overall, the camera is very small and compact. The incredibly long zoom is incredibly valuable if you're recording, for example, like a concert and you're sitting up in the back rows and you can't really see your kid from where you're sitting. You can zoom in and get a decent photo. The battery it comes with is the Sony, I believe it's the the NP-FH30, which gives you about 100 minutes of battery life, and that's not using the zoom. When you use the zoom, your battery life will drop dramatically. Overall, it's some of the best recording I've seen from a standard def camera. It's also one of the smallest standard def cameras that's not one of the pocket cams like the Flip Video and those style cameras. It also does a great job recording in 16:9, where most cameras of this class, like the JVC Varios and similar cameras that are in the standard def range, what they'll do is when you record in 16:9, it won't actually display the image properly. It will shrink it to a 4:3, and everything will look really tall and distorted. This camera will actually save the resolution, or the correct screen formatting for 16:9 in the video file itself, so when you play it back on something like Windows Movie Maker, it'll play correctly. That's another thing to mention, the files from this camera work right away with Windows Movie Maker. You don't have to do anything to alter them, which is very convenient. So it's all around a very good camera. It's not too expensive, and I would really recommend it to anyone out there who's still looking for a standard definition camera with a lot of zoom. Thanks.
The largest pest dispenser on record recouped his numbers. One shoe in a soupy gutter, one shoe in a velvet heaven. With a mermaid told him shake up at a lake of melted weapons. He could dance pretty with the hooligan.